My boyfriend passed away and now my guy friends are being weird.
My F25 long-term boyfriend died unexpectedly early in December and I've been a mess. I've had family and friends over a lot and it's been very comforting. The friends more so than my family because they knew my boyfriend well. One of my guy friends in particular, M26, has been acting really weird for the last week. Whenever he leaves, he kisses my face in different places, cheek, forehead, nose. It makes me uncomfortable and I said so, and he stopped for a couple days. I felt relieved and like that was the end of it. There are some days that are really hard and I can't be alone. He works third shift so he's usually free during the day, while my other friends work first shift and can't help me as much during the day. So I'll call him because he comes over every time I ask.
Yesterday he hugged me and his hand slid down and he touched my butt and I felt sick to my stomach. I froze up and just didn't know what to do. My boyfriend was incredibly protective of me and I depended on him to help me in situations like this because of past trauma. I mostly need advice on what to say to my friend. I don't want to hurt his feelings but I also am not interested in him, or anyone right now. I'm going to stop asking him to come over but I think he will still show up sometimes. I know I need to establish boundaries, and maybe some advice on that would be helpful, too. In my experience, when I say no and stop, I am ignored and or hurt so I find myself afraid to draw hard lines. I already feel like I'm drowning from losing my love, and I don't know how to deal with this on top of it.
Edit, TLDR, friend is touching me in ways I don't appreciate and I need advice on what to say to him to get my point across. I'd stop relying on this guy friend for support. You made it pretty clear that you were uncomfortable by him kissing you and he responded by trying to touch your ass. He clearly isn't respecting your boundaries and has some ulterior motives for supporting you. If he shows up again, you should have something practiced that you can say to him. I'm not comfortable hanging out with you at the moment. You crossed a boundary by trying to kiss me and grab my butt. Please stop trying to contact me for the time being.
He's trying to use your grief and vulnerability to sleep with you. More than likely he's been wanting to sleep with you for a while, and feels like this is his only chance. He's not your friend. He's already touched you when you asked him not to. What happens when he crosses your boundaries again? But this time more harmful to you. I'm sorry for what you're going through, but please don't keep hanging out with this guy. Your boyfriend wouldn't like this at all, he'd be scared for you.
He's looking to take advantage of your emotions to be with you sexually. You gotta put a stop to it.
Drop him as a friend. He's trying to take advantage of you while you're grieving. Which is absolutely disgusting and a sign of disrespect and is just gross in so many ways. Trust your gut. This doesn't sound like it ends well if you continue letting him come around. Yeah, that's not a friend. LMAO. That's someone who not only actively wants to fuck you, but has sexually assaulted you. He clearly has issues with boundaries. Read. A piece of shit. This is someone who sees your profound grief as an opportunity and an opening that he can exploit. That is not someone that anyone needs in their life while they are processing such a terrible loss. I am very sorry for your loss. Why are you at all concerned about sparing this dude's feelings? He is not your friend. He does not care about you. He is just a man who wants to fuck you. The reason he comes over whenever you call is because he thinks it will eventually allow him to take advantage of and fuck you. That is all your friendship means to him. A friend who tries to feel you up during your moment of grief was probably never your friend to begin with. You don't need to think about his feelings. He certainly isn't thinking about yours. Sending hugs from a distance. M24. This is fucking gross. You better hurt his feelings and tell him to stay the fuck back. And if he wants to be a friend, then to respect you. That's not a friend. He's taking advantage when you're emotionally vulnerable now to get something. His needs from it. Think of it objectively. If this dude wasn't a friend, Would you allow some stranger do this to you? No. Your boyfriend might be gone. But what he taught you and did for you will always remain with you. You take that protective stance you've seen him do toward other guys to protect you and display it. Also, some off-tangent advice because I wish someone could have given me this talk. I also lost someone very important to me 3 years back. Please 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 little one, don't let it drown you. Yes, to you. He was someone very important in your life. And he still will be in the future to some extent. But this life is vast and you have other ambitions too. I got very fearful, angry, and bitter after all that happened. I resented life. And thought I needed to walk alone. This put me further and further down the abyss. I did things for the wrong reasons and was becoming less and less of myself. Your strong biceps homegirl. Lament about it now. Tomorrow. In a week. In a month. Of course. That's natural. But remember, chin up. Straighten that upper lip. Tackle anything that comes in your way. Accept and greet anything comes in your way. Ask for help from your family and friends. Talk about it if you really need to. The real people in your life won't care how many times they need you. It'll be a little hard to say this. And for you to read this because I hated it then. Time and life really does heal all wounds. And you were your own individual before he came into your life. When he was with you during the time. And you still are now. We all wish you the best of luck. Hey bud. Thanks for everything, but you keep crossing boundaries you know you shouldn't cross. The touch of another man is not what I need right now. If you can't respect that, could you keep your distance please? Do not worry about his feelings. He is making things work. In times like this, real friends try to lift you up and help you heal. He wants to get laid. So not really a friend. Holy crap, he's a shit show and an asshole. He doesn't respect you or your late BF. He seems like a creep. You see him as a mental support, but for me he seems to wanting you in a different way. Some take advantage of a vulnerable person and he seems like that kind of a guy. He is easing himself in. It starts innocent and it escalates. He started with kissing all over your face. Then he went a little further by grabbing your ass. I'd be taking this up with your other friends and hope they'll help you deal with him. You look at him as a friend helping out in a difficult time of your life. But all I see is someone trying to take advantage of you. I don't like that guy. TW, sexual assault. A similar thing happened to a girl I met in college. She went through a serious depressive episode in high school and relied on a guy friend for support. He started acting weird, exactly like how you're describing. Despite her telling him multiple times to stop. A few weeks later, when she called him to come over because she wanted someone to be with her for a few minutes while she was vulnerable and in desperate need of a friend, he violently RPE'd her. My advice is to cut contact with this guy. He is taking advantage of your grief to sexually exploit you. He is not a friend. He is a predator. This guy sees your BF passing away as an opportunity. He isn't being there for you. He is trying to get with you. He only cares about himself. Drop this fool. Yuck. His behavior is so predatory. I would cut this friend out of my life. Who the hell does this to a woman whose longer-term partner just died? Absolutely disgusting. He's taken your boundaries and stomped all over them. Thank you for your support. But you have repeatedly touched me in ways that make me uncomfortable despite my protests. My partner just died and you are taking advantage of my grief. I think it would be best if we go our separate ways.
He's just trying to bang you. You should distance yourself from him.
I wouldn't be worried about his feelings when he clearly isn't worried about yours. Speak up. Tell him to knock it off, and if he continues this behavior, pull the plug on this friend. This is incredibly gross and I'm sorry it happened to you. This guy is not your friend. He's preying on you. A vulnerable woman. Even after you told him to stop. This guy doesn't respect you at all. Cut him off immediately. This will only escalate. Tell everyone what he did and stop talking to him. He knows what he's doing. He's preying on you in this vulnerable state. Don't give two shits about his feelings because he doesn't care about yours. Send him a text message. Always have a paper trail in these sort of things. Telling him you do not want him touching you, caressing you, or kissing you. Don't have an in-person confrontation. He'll try to guilt you. Sure, he might stop for a while. But he'll try his luck. Also, if you have anyone you can trust, maybe another guy friend, tell them to tell him to knock it off as well. Personally though, I'd be dumping him as a friend and blocking him. You do not need this stress. Ideally ever. But definitely not after a passing of a loved one. Good luck, op, and I'm sorry for your loss. Your friend is intentionally hitting on you during an extremely hard time and in a place where you are fairly vulnerable. He's being a predator. Get away from him.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.